Why are cloud solutions better than on-premise? I'm going to give you an example next. This video is going to be a bit different from my usual content. Instead of focusing on a specific how-to, I want to take a moment to share an observation. The topic of this video is SuccessFactors Time Management. And my point is simple. SuccessFactors Time Management is a perfect example of why enterprise solutions moved from on-premise to the cloud. Let me explain what I mean. When SAP acquired SuccessFactors, one of the key reasons for the acquisition was to acquire the cloud DNA from SuccessFactors. The principal benefit would be the ability to deliver more value more often. How? Because everyone is on the same platform. All users are on the same platform. So you don't have to maintain this year's code and the last 5 years worth of code too. So instead of having to help customers with their local headaches, you could instead work on building out new stuff. And there's no better example of rapid development than what has taken place with SuccessFactors Time Management. Although SuccessFactors Time Off has been built out for a while, SuccessFactors Timesheets, as recently as 4 years ago, was a pretty limited solution. It was built for white-collar workers to track things like business travel. Around the end of 2021, SuccessFactors announced their new time tracking solution. Their goal was ambitious: to build out a time tracking solution that could replace on-premise time management systems. Over the span of just 3 years, they have delivered a remarkable number of enhancements, transforming the product from a simple tool into a robust solution capable of supporting hourly workers in many of their processes. Let me give you a quick overview of some of the features that have been added within the past 3 years. So I want to go over some highlights of some of the things that have been added since time tracking was announced. And the first one I wanted to highlight is third-party clock integration, which is one of the first things that was announced on the roadmap when time tracking came out, because SuccessFactors knew that this was really important, and it was delivered in a very effective manner. So the third-party clock integration, it is intended to be a more or less a real-time interface from the third-party clock vendor to SuccessFactors. And when that time comes across, it appears in the manage clock in, clock out view. And in that clock in, clock out view, you can quickly see cases where the time is not paired and be able to work through that. And so it does give you a nice way for you to use those third-party clock tools, but then have it integrate into SuccessFactors and use the time tracking system itself in order to resolve issues that arise naturally, such as someone forgetting to clock out. So the next thing up is the Timesheet Approval Center. This is a very recent development, and this one pulls together a lot of information and is really designed around allowing the manager or a time administrator to see in summary all of the people that they are responsible for. And they would be able to see a summary of the time, as you see here. You also see alerts. And so that's going to give you a heads up on things like maybe some missed punches or things like that, or maybe some time that is outside the bounds of what it should be. You see there's an approve all button there as well. So this is really a kind of a capstone of a lot of work that's gone on over the last few releases. And this kind of puts everything at your fingertips when you're approving time off. And so this is a really nice one. And then the other thing I wanted to show you here is a really big development, and that is the integration between the S4 CATS timesheet with SuccessFactors Time. And so this is really kind of the best of both worlds. This is the kind of thing that SAP can do that other groups can't, and that is it can integrate with SAP S4 HANA. And of course, CATS timesheet, we're all familiar, or a lot of us are familiar. If you are a longtime SAP shop, CATS, and that as everyone moves to S/4HANA, that CATS is still going to be around because it has a lot of project costing and project WBS elements and things like that exist within S4. But SuccessFactors Time is going to be the place moving forward where the time is going to get calculated. And so this combination then allows you to have SuccessFactors Time identify the time types, the work schedules, as well as recorded absences that go into SuccessFactors Time off, and then have all of that integrated into the CATS timesheet, and then have the timesheet itself. You go through the paces of that, and the employee will interact with the timesheet inside of S/4HANA CATS. But the simulation of real-time valuations and alerts for like overtime, excessive overtime, things like that would be available to the person in real time as they're filling out the timesheet on CATS. But then once the timesheet is approved, then it is transmitted over, and the true time valuation would take place, and the time types and everything would occur inside of SuccessFactors Time, just as if it had been put in through SuccessFactors natively. So that is a really big deal because this allows us to really have our cake and eat it too. So you have that SuccessFactors CATS integration that really allows your SAP shops to use both SAP as well as the next generation of time calculation, which is SuccessFactors Time. So some other updates here that I just wanted to highlight. There's cross midnight handling. Of course, that was a big deal because if you're shift workers that are going on 24-hour shifts, sometimes you need to be able to have shifts that start at 10 at night and then end at 6 in the morning, things like that. I'm not going to highlight all of these. Timesheet redesign. I think there've been a couple of timesheet redesigns over the last 3 years, and as well as time alerts. There's a digital punch clock that's mobile, so you can clock in, clock out on the SuccessFactors native mobile app as well. And one thing that's not on this list that really has come a long way as well is the real-time valuation that happens within SuccessFactors Time. When I input time in a SuccessFactors timesheet, it is going to automatically calculate things like overtime based on what I've put in even before I submit. And so that's another real key piece that is here. It actually existed prior to time tracking coming around, but it has certainly gotten much robust over this time period. So from those highlights, hopefully you can see what I am talking about. SAP promised that development would be faster in the cloud, and SuccessFactors Time Management has delivered on that promise. It's certainly worth it to take a beat to admire their progress. But as a consultant, I think there is another implication that's just as important here. The ability to deliver meaningful innovations when the recent past gives current and future customers confidence that the innovations will keep coming. It makes it much easier for me as a consultant to tell the customer that they can stick their neck out and their company's budget on this solution. It's like watching your favorite sports team stocked with good young players and knowing that they're just going to get better. Time to get on the bandwagon. So congratulations to the time management team at SuccessFactors. I have a feeling that you're about to have a lot of work on your hands.